Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy, TheVinnyD, and I'm bringing you another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 gameplay. Today it is Search and Destroy on Redwood. It's actually a competitive 3v3 match, so hopefully you guys will enjoy the match. I'm using a mix of the SVG and I think the HVK as well, but I'm not too sure. But anyways, this commentary has absolutely nothing to do with the gameplay. Today I will be talking about Call of Duty XP, or Call of Duty Championships, the Call of Duty World League Championships, whatever you want to say, and I will be talking about who I think is going to win the tournament. Now, in case you guys didn't know, they are doing a $25,000 winners bracket challenge, which I've already filled out my bracket, and I'm feeling very confident about my bracket. I really think that I got a good shot here, but hopefully I will. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look through all the groups. I'm going to tell you guys who I think is going to win the group, or get first in the group, get second in the group, and then we'll go through the bracket. And I'll tell you guys, how I think the bracket is going to unfold. So let's buckle in and get ready. So when we look in Group A, we have 3 European teams and a not so good North American team. A North American team that had to get in through the online qualifier. We've got Millennium, who is, arguably one of the top 4 European teams, as well as Splice, who are also one of the top 4 European teams, and then Revoltables to round out the European team, who, I have no idea who these guys are. I just saw that they were calling out Optic Gaming, hoping that they were going to be in their group, but unfortunately they weren't. The North American team in there is Living the Dream, which I don't even know if that's, a bunch of pro players. I think that was one of those semi-pro teams that made it in. But honestly, I see Millennium and Splice taking this. I see them as being the 2 teams from Group A going out there. I think Living the Dreams isn't going to be able to run with those top 2 European teams. And again, I have no idea who Revoltables are. I honestly think Revoltables are going to lose to all of them. Living the Dreams going to beat Revoltables, but lose to Splice and Millennium. And then, Splice and Millennium will both beat Living the Dreams and Revoltables. And then I think Splice will probably beat Millennium, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So I see Splice and Millennium coming out of Group A. So we jumped down to Group B. Got Rise Nation, Hyper Games, Apotheon Esports, and Supremacy. I think clear cut Rise Nation is going to take that first place spot. I think Rise Nation is going to get out of there. But then you start to see, the other teams, like who do you think is going to get? Apotheon, they made it in through the online qualifier, and then Supremacy and Hyper Games from EU. I mean, Supremacy, they're one of the top 4 EU teams. And I mean, I see, Rise Nation beating everybody. I see Rise Nation going 3-0 in group play. And then honestly, I could see Hyper Games losing to both Apotheon and Supremacy. But I think Supremacy is going to come out with that second place draw. I think it'll be Rise Nation and Supremacy coming out of Group B, making it into the winners bracket and going on. And then I think, just Rise Nation, Supremacy. I think Rise Nation's going to get that 1 spot, and Supremacy's going to get the 2nd spot. So then we jump down to Group C, where we see Luminosity, Mind Freak, Fab Games, and Chiefs Esports Club. I think, clear cut Luminosity is going to take the first place spot. I mean, they're the only NA team in there, and also they're a good squad. Steady and Nameless, they're 2 very good players. I mean, Luminosity knocked off Optic Gaming in the first round of the Stage 2 finals for North America, so I would not be surprised to see them make some sort of a run in this tournament. So I definitely think they're going to take that top spot in that tournament. If you're looking at the other 3 teams, Mind Freak, Fab Games, and Chiefs Esports Clubs, if you're Mind Freak, you kind of got to be enjoying this draw, because Fab Games, they're a German team. They're not very good. They're not the Fab Games squad that people used to know. They're like kind of a new thrown together squad, and from what I've heard, they're not that good, and neither is Chiefs Esports Club. Granted, the ANZ Pro Division is kind of weaker, but that being said, Mind Freak is, the dominating team over there, so I could see Mind Freak making it out into the winners bracket, and putting on some sort of, they might be able to pull some sort of run out over there, but I definitely see, Luminosity and Mind Freak getting out of Group C. We go down to Group D, and we got Ground Zero, Allegiance, Epsilon Esports, and Pulse Gaming. This is kind of an interesting group. That looks to be a very tight group. A lot of good, good caliber players in that group and in those teams. I definitely see Ground Zero making it though. I'm pretty sure that's Killa's squad. So I could see Ground Zero making it out, making it into the knockout stages. Allegiance though, I think they're one of those teams that no one's really gonna worry about. I mean, I think they got him through the online qualifiers, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I don't see them doing anything, and I definitely don't see Pulse Gaming doing anything. But Epsilon, one of the top EU teams, I could definitely see them making it out. So I definitely see Ground Zero coming out with that first place spot, and Epsilon coming away with that second place spot in Group D to advance. Drop it down in here to Group E. We've got FaZe Clan, Team Elevate, Corn, and Giants Gaming. That's I from what the casters were saying, Corn is a good NA team, but they'll probably get picked up by some organization going into the tournament. And then there's FaZe Clan and Elevate. I mean, clear cut, I think FaZe Clan and Elevate are getting 1 and 2. I don't see Giants Gaming doing anything, being the Spaniard squad, and Corn, I just don't see them, being able to knock off both FaZe Clan and Team Elevate. So I think FaZe Clan and Elevate are going to get out in that group. Go down to Group F. Now we've got Team Infused, Team Caliber, Most Wanted, and Tainted Minds. I mean, Team Infused, they did very well at MLG Orlando. I mean, they did a lot better than anyone was really expecting. Sure, they got into the losers bracket, faced some tough teams, and they lost. But you got to think. I mean, I think they lost 3-2 to FaZe in the losers bracket. So I mean, that's no easy task. But you also got Team Caliber, Most Wanted, and Tainted Minds. And I mean, at the beginning of Black Ops 3, I tried getting on that Most Wanted squad, and unfortunately, I got shot down. So that would have been nice to have gotten on there. But I think Team Infused is going to take the 1 spot, and I think Team Caliber is going to take the 2nd spot. I don't see Tainted Minds doing anything. They're like the number 2 Australian and New Zealand team. I just don't see them getting past any of these 3 teams really. I think Tainted Minds is probably going to go 0-3 in that group. Most Wanted will probably only pick up their only win over Tainted Minds. Hopefully Tainted Minds can beat Most Wanted, because I'm not a fan of Most Wanted, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I definitely see Infused and Caliber. Team Infused and Team Caliber coming out of Group F. Now we look at Group G, and this is where we've got Team Envious, Orbit, Cloud9, and Team Vitality. Again, Orbit, they're like the 3rd placed ANZ team. Or actually, they might be 4th. I'm not too sure. I didn't really watch much of Stage 2 ANZ World League. But obviously, Team Envious, they're taking the 1 spot there. They're going to go 3-0. I see Cloud9 coming away with the 2nd spot. I just don't see Orbit or Vitality beating out Cloud9 for that 2nd spot. So I think Team Envious and Cloud9 are going to come with the 1 and 2 for Group G. And here we go into Group H. We have Optic Gaming, Complexity, Panda Gaming, and Team LDLC. I mean, clear cut, Optic Gaming, they're going to go 3-0. They're going to take that 1st place spot. And I think Complexity is going to grab the 2nd place spot out of that group. Granted, Panda Gaming and Team LDLC, they are 2 solid squads in their own right. I think Seth said it, or Scumpy said it himself. They probably got the 3rd or 4th hardest bracket, but I definitely see Optic Gaming and Complexity, especially that new squad with Havoc and Llama, 2 very good players that'll be able to play off of each other. I just see Optic Gaming and Complexity being the 1 and 2s from that group stage. So now that we've discussed the group and who I think is going to get it out, we're going to go to the winners bracket final, and we're going to go over who I've got. So round 1, match 1, we have got Splice versus Supremacy, 2 top EU teams, but I see Splice taking that victory fairly easily, because again, Splice is a very good EU team. I just don't see Supremacy being able to do much against them. Round 1, match 2, we've got Luminosity Gaming against Epsilon Esports. I know Epsilon's one of the top EU teams, and Luminosity is kind of like 7th or 8th in North America, but I still see Luminosity powering through Epsilon Esports, because when you got Steady and Nameless, if they just go off, if they just play their game, Epsilon's not going to be able to contain that. So I got Epsilon beating Luminosity. Round 1, match 3, we've got Team Elevate versus Team Caliber. I got to pick Elevate in that one. Team Caliber, they got relegated out of Stage 1 finals. Elevate, granted, they played hot in Stage 1, but Stage 2 they fell from grace, and they were actually in the relegation zone for Stage 2. Granted, they didn't have the relegation tournament. I just see Team Elevate winning that matchup and advancing to the next round. And then we got Team Envious against Complexity. I liked this Complexity squad all throughout Black Ops 3. I thought they were very good. At the beginning, they actually, I think it was FaZe Clan that they actually beat in a close hardpoint on Fringe. But I see Team Envious beating Complexity. As much as I would like to see Complexity make that win. I just think Envious is gonna done and dust Complexity. So round one, match 5, Rise Nation versus Millennium. Rise Nation's gonna take that. Rise is just too good of a squad to lose to any foreign country's team. So next we got Ground Zero and Mind Freak. Granted, Mind Freak is the top ANZ team. I just don't see any of the ANZ teams running with North American teams. I mean, I think it was like the Melbourne Invitational, the Crown Melbourne Invitational win. It was like the top 4, or I think it was the top 6 Australian teams, and then the top EU team, Millennium and Optic Gaming went. I mean, Optic Gaming, I think they dropped one map the entire weekend, and that was to Millennium. So I just see Ground Zero beating Mind Freak. Granted, Ground Zero, they're not Optic Gaming, but I just don't see Mind Freak, beating a North American team. So I got Ground Zero beating Mind Freak in there. Team Infused versus FaZe Clan. This would kind of be a rematch of MLG Orlando, where FaZe Clan, beat Infused, but I think Infused is going to take the edge here against FaZe Clan in this tournament. So I've got Team Infused beating FaZe Clan and advancing on, and then Optic Gaming versus Cloud9. Cloud9, they have what Complexity's former roster was, but I just don't think that's going to do them any good. I think Optic Gaming's going to beat Cloud9. So we come back over here, and we've got round 2, match 1, Splice versus Luminosity in the quarterfinals. I've got Luminosity winning that match. I know I said it before. Splice is a good European team, and they could beat fellow European team Supremacy, but I just don't see Luminosity losing to Splice. Luminosity's got kind of an easy run here, at least in my tournament, if the groups go the way I think they'll go, because that pits them against, no matter what, that pits them against European teams all the way up until the semifinals. So I've got Luminosity beating Splice going to the semifinals, and then Elevate versus Envious. I mean, you gotta favor Envious in that situation. Envious won season 2 of the Call of Duty World League, and they made it all the way to the grand finals against Optic, where they beat them in the first best of 5, but then got 3-0'd in the second best of 5. So I've got Envious beating Team Elevate. Over in the other quarterfinals, we've got Rise Nation versus Ground Zero, 2 top North American teams. I mean, I'm favoring Rise Nation to win that. I mean, Ground Zero, I think they can beat that Australian New Zealand team with ease, but when they go up against Rise Nation, you'll just see the difference in skill in the North American stage, and we'll see Rise Nation advance on that. Now, Team Infused and Optic Gaming, like I said, Infused had a very good run at MLG Orlando, but I just don't see them getting past Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming is just too strong of a team to let a team like Infused beat them. Infused might steal the Search and Destroy from them, but all in all, I think Optic Gaming is going to win and advance to the semifinals. So in my semifinals, I have nothing but North American teams in it. I've got Luminosity Gaming versus Team Envious. Like I said, Luminosity, they had an easy run all the way up until now in the COD XP, but I just think Team Envious is going to take it there, and they're going to punch their ticket to the winners finals. So I've got Envious beating Luminosity, and then on the other side, Rise Nation versus Optic Gaming. Rise Nation kind of have also had an easier run of things. They had to just, in my bracket, they would have had to beat Millennium and then Ground Zero. 2 easy matches for them. And Optic, they've had to go through Cloud9, who's a top, pretty good North American team, and Team Infused, who's a top European team. So I see Optic Gaming beating Rise Nation. So where I've got Optic Gaming versus Team Envious in my winners bracket finals. Pretty much a rematch of MLG Orlando, except this time I've got Optic Gaming winning that best of 5, with Optic Gaming being the final place team, or being your winners of the winners bracket, and facing, again, I have Team Envious in the grand finals, Optic Gaming, Team Envious, but I've got Optic Gaming winning 3-1 in the grand finals. I could see Envy taking the Search off of Optic, but I don't see them beating Optic in more than one map. So that's my prediction of Call of Duty XP. I believe Seth is finally going to get his first ring. Scumpy's going to get his first ring. I believe Karma's going to get his 3rd ring. Crim's going to get his 2nd ring. Optic Gaming, they're my picks to win Call of Duty XP. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think is going to happen at COD XP. Who you think is going to win COD XP? Definitely let me know in the comments below, or tweet at me a screenshot of your bracket on Twitter. There will be a link to my Twitter in the description below. I'm definitely interested to hear what you guys have in mind, and if I see some interesting ones tweeted at me or interesting thoughts tweeted at me, maybe I'll make a video about that. But I can't wait to hear what you guys have to think about COD XP. I mean, I'm taking off that entire weekend from work. That way I can do nothing but just sit at home, watch COD XP, watch the COD Championships, and I'm very excited to see it. and I hope you guys are too. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all the videos I post. Follow me on Twitter. There will be a link to that in the description below. This has been your boy, TheVinnyD. Peace.